Novavax reported their earnings results, and we're not going to talk about the details of the earnings, but their CEO, Stanley Erck, said something interesting in their Q4 conference call. He said that Novavax's COVID-19 vaccine could win FDA emergency use authorization by May. How likely do you think that could be?
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends. I mean, we don't know how long. I mean, they have much better idea of as the COVID-19 vaccines are going to, as the number of COVID-19 cases in the clinical trial are coming in, they have a good idea of when they're going to hit their endpoints, right? So that's going to be the case. So I mean, May seems reasonable if they're going to use the U.S. FDA or the U.S. clinical trial data. You know, we as investors, we don't know when whether that's going to when that data is going to come in. The company doesn't know. They know the number of cases that are coming in. They don't know whether they're in the placebo group or the vaccine group, but they know that once they hit a certain number, then they can go and unblind the data and see how many were in the placebo group and how many were in the vaccine group. So that's really the case. I don't think they're going to get FDA approval based on the UK data, which I think that the Stanley Erck had been talking about trying to get earlier. I think that's probably a low chance of just because they're you know, they'd be the fourth potential emergency use authorization, and then plus you know, supply is ramping up for the first three, and so I think the FDA is going to make them wait for the U.S. Data, and when that data comes is the company has a lot more information about that than the average investor does.
Now, generally speaking, Brian, do you think the FDA might become more lenient at allowing companies to file based on data from international studies that weren't conducted in the U.S.?
I feel like they'd be less likely, especially in Novavax's case, because I think Novavax had to wait. The reason why they're sort of behind is because they had to wait for manufacturing. They wanted to set up the manufacturing so that it was at the same scale as they were going to launch the commercial product to run the phase 3 clinical trial with that. So I don't know what the supply that ran the UK study, you know, what that vaccine, how it was made relative to what they want to launch the commercial level at. But the FDA always wants you to have data, clinical trial data based on the manufacturing that you're going to launch the commercial product with. And so if that wasn't the case for the UK, then I think that the companies would have a lot of problems trying to use foreign data. But in general, I think the FDA is okay with it. But I think that it's harder for the FDA to accept it based on the need, right? So if there's less of a need for a drug, then they're going to want to see more U.S. patients. Where if there's more of a need, then now it's, you know, then U.S. like patients are probably good enough.